This is ANTIC The Atari podcast.
It's December 2025, and this is episode 123 of ANTIC The Atari 8-Bit Podcast. I am your host, Kay Savitz, and I am here with your other hosts, Brad Arnold.
Hello, hello.
And Randall Kindig.
Hey, everyone.
And we are here to talk about the latest and greatest news and updates in the world of the Atari 8-bit computer, your favorite retro computer. How you guys doing?
Great. Getting ready for the holidays.
Good. All right, let's get started by talking about what Atari-ish things we've been up to. Who wants to get started? Who's feeling perky? Brad, you're looking perky.
I think Brad should go first.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's, a couple things, but not much. I showed off my Atari 800 at the Amiga 40 celebration here in Atlanta last month. And yeah, an Atari 800 at the Amiga 40. Well, think about it. I shouldn't have to explain why, but I will. The the team that designed the Atari 800 along with other stuff, some of them went on to design the Amiga. And so we had it there, as showing some, where the Amiga came from. Because that was kind of, Jay Miner and, Joe DeCure's, what they wanted to do at Atari. So it got a lot of attention. Lots of people played games, and it was did well.
What games did you have set up on it?
Oh, I had just a whole box of cartridges so people could put in the kids. I would try to guess by the age of the kid. Do you want Pac-Man or Centipede or something, and the older adults, you want Defender or Miner 2049 or something like that. And so it was a wide range.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all off original cartridge and everything. We were swapping cartridges, and
that's a good way to do it when you go to an event like that, because it's just so
Yeah.
easy to pop in a cartridge.
Yeah. And, I could have taken, one of the multi-cart things, but it's like, that's nice. But, having the original cartridges is always fun.
Yeah.
But, when I got home with that 800, I set it up in my new office and finally got it all set up and working again. Put a picture of the initial setup on in our Facebook group, but just nothing special. Just 800 sitting there on a desk, and after I got that, I started. I figured I'd start at the basics and watch some of the first Invitation to Programming cassette. So, had my cassette out and my 1010 cassette, which I used to have a bunch of 410s, but I don't have any anymore. So I had to use my 1010. But it works, which is good. Hung in there.
Did you learn how to program?
So,
Not yet. I'm working on it. And but I've got the invitation though to learn programming. And I do like that cassette. It's considering when it came out, in 1979, it was just, in 1979, that was just a wow thing. And so
a multimedia extravaganza.
Mm-hmm, yep. And it shows you the power of what things, what the future would bring us. And so what do we get? We get Facebook. Anyway.
And AI slop.
Yeah. And Uh, uh, do you think we'll have this published in the next day or two? No. All right, never mind. I was going to talk about our club's Christmas party this weekend, but I won't.
I'd go ahead and talk about it. At least you can talk about what you're going to do, right? I mean, I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, it's this weekend. If we get it done in time, our club's Christmas party is this weekend. We're going to have video games. It's our video game meeting. So, yeah, hopefully Raul will be there and cover the Atari side of things because I'm going to be covering another video game console that, is not Atari. But there will be, I'd be willing to bet there's several 2600s, 7800s, who knows, maybe a 5200. And, but if you're in Atlanta on Saturday, come over and have some food and play some video games with us. It'll be a fun time.
Sounds like a good time. Nice.
And Randy's going to write a report of what he's going to do on his electric typewriter, right?
Right. Well,
I'm practicing. I'm practicing.
You practice a little bit more, right? So, since you mentioned that first, I'll talk about it first. I think I mentioned on an earlier episode that I had gotten an electric typewriter module that I found at a flea market that actually allows you to connect a particular model, the Smith Corona, certain models of Smith Corona, to your computer. It actually has a serial port on the typewriter, and I never knew that. So I picked up a module a while back, and then just recently I actually picked up one of the typewriters that supports it, that has the serial port on it. So among other computers, I'm going to take my Atari 8-bit and probably hook up my 850 interface and see if I can get my Atari to talk to the typewriter and actually have it print out stuff. The typewriter is a little larger than I remember these electric typewriters being. It's pretty big, and I suspect it's extremely noisy. I haven't turned it on yet, but it's probably going to be very noticeable when I turn that on. But I'm hoping I can get that to work. And why am I doing that? I don't know. It's just something different to play with.
Sure. Hey, yeah. It's those were a thing, back in the day, and they were not common. I remember them, but they were not common.
That's cool.
The typewriters that could do that, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have for years and years, I have a typewriter module for, I don't remember what typewriter. I was just trying to look. I don't even know right now. And at one point, I looked and tried to find the typewriter that would work with it, and on eBay or whatever. And the typewriter, I don't know. It was just like shipping this thing would be very expensive because it was just an enormous typewriter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was surprised at how cheap it was to actually. I got it off eBay. The typewriter itself, the shipping wasn't that bad. I thought it would be much more.
Really, because normally they're kind of heavy some of them have a big motor in there to drive them.
Oh, it's extremely heavy and it's large. So I was surprised it was shipped as cheaply as it did, especially this time of year. This is, for those that are watching the video, this is what the module looks like. Can you read that? It's not mirror image, is it, for you guys?
No. It says, I can't, messenger module?
Smith Corona messenger module. So on the back, it's got a printer port. It's got a DB25 port. And it's got a cable. It came with a cable that was for the Coco that I got along with it. But the cable that goes to the computer
Hmm.
is DB9. I don't know if you can see it there.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's DB9. So anyway, that'd be fun.
Neat.
Beyond that, Brad, you mentioned computer meetings. We've got one coming up this weekend as well. What we're going to do is Christmas demos on all platforms. So I've been spending the last several days trying to find as many good and interesting Christmas demos as I can for the Atari 8-bit so that I can show those off. And I actually posted on AtariAge, got a lot of responses. Honestly, most of those were not very good, not very interesting. But I went out with FujiNet to some of the TNFS servers and actually found some good Christmas demos out there. So I'll use my FujiNet to pull those down and run them on my Atari, my incognito enhanced Atari 800 with the FujiNet on it. So that should be fun. And finally, what I've been spending most of my time on isn't really Atari related, but there you guys have heard of the Byte Shop, right? It's one of the
Sure.
first computer stores in existence.
Mhm.
Paul Terrell bought the very first Apple ones that were ever sold.
I believe
And
so.
he bought
Yeah.
them directly from Apple. He had a 50th anniversary event because his first store opened in 1975, just this past weekend. And I interviewed a whole bunch of people, 10 different interviews, 11 people for a podcast in relation to that event. And I got an interview with Wozniak, if you believe it or not.
Nice.
And that's something that's been on my bucket list. And it was very incredible when I set up the Zoom meeting and it comes up and there's his face there on the screen. He looked good. Looked like he was in good health. And we talked and the thing that really blew me away is that he said, we can spend as much time as you want. It's like, what? You know how hard it is to get an interview with Woz? And then for him to say, yeah, take as long as you want.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's great. Congratulations.
that was cool. So I'll be publishing that on Floppy Days. But that's it. That's it for me. How about you, Kay?
Nice. Yeah, I've been up to things. My family and I took a trip to South Korea, and the Atari adjacent-ish thing that I did there was I went to the Nexon Computer Museum, which is on Jeju Island in South Korea. All I knew going in was it's a computer museum, and I want to, go see it and see what there is, see if there's any Atari stuff, get a t-shirt. And it was a very nice little museum. And it's officially called the Nexon Computer Museum. And so I didn't know this until being there. There's a Korean company called Nexon. They are well known for creating a game called Maple Story. Maple Story is a free-to-play 2D side-scrolling, massively multiplayer online role-playing game that was initially released in 2003. I had never heard of Maple Story, but I guess the people who created Maple Story were just like, yeah, we made a whole lot of money, making this game. We are incredibly successful. Let's make a computer museum. And also, I guess there's some tax incentives to setting up museum on Jeju Island. So it was a very cool museum. I saw some Atari stuff there, kind of in the racks of old computers. There was an Atari AHCS and a 400 and an 800, and nothing really you could play or anything Atari wise. And also, of course, there were some nice, interesting Korean and other Asian machines that I don't get to see too often here in the United States. So that was a good time, and I learned all about MapleStory, and I bought a T-shirt, and it was lovely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So the next thing, I'll talk about this. I had mentioned last episode that Mark Knudsen had sent a whole bunch of Atari newsletters, and I had scanned a bunch of 1987 newsletters and put those into a group. You can find out like everything. I think it was from August 87, and so that's done. And then he also sent some JACG, Jersey Atari Computer Group newsletters that we had been missing. As I've mentioned before, we have this spreadsheet of JACG newsletters. We're trying to fill them all in. And Mark sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new issues and that I scanned. And he sent an eighth issue, which was just a better quality. I just didn't, one that we had a scan of, but it wasn't great. So we have now a better version. So he sent these 8 issues, and I got them all scanned and added them to Internet Archive and updated the spreadsheet, which any of our listeners are welcome to check and help continue to fill in the gaps. See if we can get a complete collection. We need.
Yeah, that was the collection that I had actually done some work on recently.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
As well. So we've got it filled in even more. That's great.
Yeah. It's funny, these things happen in batches. I just noticed this kind of thing lately. You go from nothing to all of a sudden converging.
Yeah.
It's like out in the universe. So you scanned some, and then Mark sent me some, and I scanned them. So we need most of 1982. We need the end of 83, 84. And then we're pretty good for a while, and then we start to get a little iffy in 1991, 1992. Excuse me. So, so that's filling in nicely. Thanks to Mark for that. My big thing is a few months ago, I did an interview. A few months ago, I learned about, I should have had my files queued up here, so I could better talk about this. A few months ago, I found an article at a newspaper archive, newspapers.com, about someone who had written a piece of Atari software that I had never heard of. And I started researching it. The man's name is Robert Timms, and he was a pilot, and he did some software for the Atari for doing air navigation, for helping you plot waypoints and do other things regarded to planning a private flight. Take your Cessna or whatever, and go whatever. And so he made some software, and he there were these articles about him because let's see, these articles are written early 1984, so like February 1984. It said that he had won the Atari Star Award, and it won the first place prize for the Atari Star Award. He was going to get $2,000 in Atari equipment, and he was going to be published by Atari Program Exchange, and for his RNAV, his air navigation software. So these articles were interesting, partially because this program was never published by Atari Program Exchange, because the last APX catalog was winter 1983. These articles came out in February 1984. I think that Atari was planning the next APX catalog, the next Atari Star Award winners, and then it all fell apart. So this guy wrote the software, he got his prize, and he got written up in all these newspapers, and then it was never published and nobody ever saw it. So I talked to his widow, and she said at the time, well, I think I have stuff in the attic, but they lived in, I'm sorry, they live in Georgia or something. She's like, this was in the summer. She's like, it's too hot. I can't go up into the attic. I'm like, fair enough. So I did an interview with his friend and business partner, which I still have to edit and publish. I hope to do that this month. And that was a great interview. And recently, it was just after Thanksgiving, I wrote back to the widow and was like, hey, have you made it up to the attic? And she's like, I did. I went up to the attic. I could not find the discs, the software for this, but I did find the manuals. And she sent me a stack of manuals for this program. Mr. Timms originally made the program for the it's a machine you have written about, you have talked about in floppy days, the HP 41C calculator.
Yeah, handheld programmable calculator. Yeah.
So the original version of this RNAV program was for the HP 41C. And so we have the manuals and all the code for that because his manuals included all of the code which you could tap into your calculator. And then after that, he made a version for the Atari 8-bit. And although she couldn't find the discs, she did find the manuals. I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. We can at least see that. And so as I'm looking at the manuals, it's very detailed documentation. And one of the manuals was the entire printed out source code for his use. And so we have on paper the entire source code for this unreleased, unpublished Atari Program Exchange accepted Atari Star award-winning software for doing air navigation. This guy was meticulous. Not only did he just print out the source code, which is nice, he also has in his documentation like what he changed for his personal copy, and then all of even the code for drawing the introductory screen that has a picture of an airplane. There's a picture of that, and he could and how to print it out and how to put it on the screen. And he has the code for even doing the auto run sys for the. He saved everything. He printed it all out. So even though they couldn't find the discs, we have it all on paper, and it's all scanned, and it's all up in Internet Archive now. And so if somebody is so inclined to do some typing or OCR work or whatever, we could absolutely reconstruct this air navigation RNAV software for Atari 8-bit. So I'm excited by this. This is kind of neat. We've a lost piece of software kind of recovered and could be completely recovered. And in the back, yeah, it's a great find. And in the back of the source code disk, there is his receipt for certified mail for sending in the program to Atari Program Exchange. And so he looks like he sent it in on January 26th, and it was signed for on January 26th, 1984, and it was signed on January 30th, 1984. So anyway, that's neat. We have the software now. If somebody wants to get to typing, well, we could make it run. Anyway, so I'm going to that was what I've been up to, and I'm going to get that interview published as soon as I can.
Good deal.
Yeah. So I guess that is it. We can move on to Atari news. And it looks like I have the first one of that. I noticed that there is a new FujiNet game, FujiNet Battleship for Atari 8-bit, now in the FujiNet game lobby. According to our buddy Tom Cherryholmes, it says Eric Carr has released FujiNet Battleship for Atari 8-bit, up to 4 players, a mix of human and robot players, accessible from the FujiNet Game Lobby. So another game for FujiNet players.
Yeah, there are going to be quite a few games now that you can play through the game lobby.
Yeah.
And it's nice that they tend to come to the Atari first, you know?
Yes.
I guess because it was the first one is the most mature, I guess, version of the FujiNet. So yeah, cool.
So thanks to Eric and the FujiNet team for doing that. Look forward to trying
Yeah,
that.
awesome. I'd love to do that someday. I don't know that I'll ever get to it, but I'd love to write a multiplayer game.
We should set up a ANTIC. The three of us should play some Battleship
An ANTIC
or
game?
whatever. An ANTIC game, yeah. And maybe three of us plus Tom or something.
I meant write one.
Oh, right one. Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
See, I was thinking much smaller. Like I can set aside a half an hour to play a game of Battleship.
Yeah.
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 It's a little more than half an hour to write one, probably.
Probably. I've written games for FujiNet. A couple years ago now. It's totally doable. It's fun.
And Tom is great about putting information out there about how to do it. I mean, he's constantly writing articles, so
Yeah.
so that's awesome. All right. Well, I found so today's Atari has put out a lot of products, and recently, I don't know if you guys own the Atari 50th anniversary collection. I bought that a couple years ago, I think, when they came out with that for my Xbox, and it's pretty good. I like it. There's a lot of 8-bit games in that collection. Well, they've also recently come out with the Namco Legendary Pack, which again, since we're coming up on Christmas, this might be a Christmas idea for your Atari person in your life. But they've got some additional 8-bit games in there. There's Pac-Man is in that collection. Galaxian is in that collection. Dig Dug is there. And there's also 5200 version of Pac-Man and Galaxian. So some additional software. I did go ahead and go and purchase this. It's just an add-on pack for the 50th anniversary celebration. It's only like $7.99, I think it is. So kind of cool.
Nice.
And another way to play 8-bit games.
Okay. What's next? FujiNet PC build for Mac. Tell me all about this.
So our friend Andy Diller has been pretty busy. He's got several articles that he's written recently. I think Brad's going to talk about one next. But in this first one, he went out there and just to make it easier for everybody, he went ahead and built the FujiNet PC for the Macintosh so that you can, and he's got instructions on how you can install it, and you don't have to do all the work yourself to get FujiNet PC out there. So when you want to run FujiNet emulation using Altera or Atari Intermac X or whatever, there you go. You'll be able to use this FujiNet PC that he's built.
I was just but I already have FujiNet running on my computer, but
Yeah.
I guess I had to make it myself, right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I see.
There's a lot of work you had to do yourself, and he's reduced that workload.
Beautiful.
To get it set up.
So this is the actual FujiNet emulator kind of back end that does the job of the FujiNet hardware. Nice. Beautiful. What about you, Brad? What do you got?
Okay. Andy Diller also did an article on his website for running multiple Atari 800 FujiNet emulators on a PC.
Okay.
And it's it's a setup with a Moswald's net SIO enhancement that you can connect, like I said, multiple FujiNet PCs and 800s running on the same personal computer using different UDP ports. So, like if you wanted to play yourself in Battleship, I guess you could have multiple 800 emulators running and all connected and play a four-handed game of Battleship against yourself.
Right. Well, this is what I was talking about, I think, last episode or two ago, where like if you were developing your own FujiNet
Your development,
game,
right?
you've got to have a way to test it out and play against yourself. And this is it. This is the way to do it.
Yes.
You have
Right.
multiple emulators running.
Yeah. And have one talking to another and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And or just make changes and you do comparisons and all that, developer stuff.
Great.
But so now you can.
It's got directions on how to do it for Mac OS X. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's so
Great job, Andy.
Yep, Andy's been busy.
Okay, this next one is about BBC Basic, which is it's always been a pretty good basic. It was pretty popular back in the day. It's a very powerful basic, and I don't know how you pronounce this gentleman's handle, IVOP, IVOP. Is that how you pronounce it, or I don't know?
Sure, I'll allow it.
He ported BBC Basic to the Atari XL XE. So he says this would have been a game changer 40 years ago instead of our data statements and USR calls. But he says back in 83, BBC Basic was considered the fastest 8-bit basic around, faster than Atari Basic, but slower than Turbo Basic, obviously. But there, if you want to run BBC Basic, and there's a lot of software out there written in BBC Basic, you might be able to run it on your Atari.
Wild. Huh. Does it make your Atari talk with a British accent?
Okay, there's your token laugh. Ken.
More Doctor Who references, or I don't know. Okay, neat. Yeah, that would have been.
Okay.
I mean, it's amazing now, but it would have been a game changer a long time ago.
A long time ago, as a lot of these things that we talk about would have been, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Neat.
This next one is from Bosianu. He developed something called the FISH, or FujiNet Interface Shell. What it essentially does is allows you to search through a pool of TNFS servers with your FujiNet and mount files directly from the return results. So there are going to be quite a few TNFS servers out there, and some of them have a lot of software on them. So if there's a particular phrase or type of software, that you're looking for, like Christmas demos that I've been looking for, this would allow you to search across all those TNFS servers through your FujiNet and perhaps find the software that you're looking for. So it does require a backend server with a TNFS crawler, file database, and search engine, but he's built one. It's called the FishEye server. He has one up and running, and he says the application should connect to it automatically. You don't need to know any TNFS server to load something with your FujiNet. Just type in the name you're looking for, look at the results, mount whichever return result it is that you want, and run it from your FujiNet like you normally would. It can search through up to 10 connected servers. It can mount and boot the files found in the results, XEX, ATRs, and ATXs. You can select a favorite server. Search results are sorted by the number of mounts, so the more frequently mounted files are higher in the list. You can view the list of servers and their stats. and it's got a few other features as well. But this is a very neat utility for people that use FujiNet a lot.
Nice. I love your use case of just going there and searching for Christmas and Xmas and whatever
Yeah,
phrases and
right.
yeah, fun. Very useful little tool.
People a lot more talented than me can come up with this stuff. It's really, really nice.
So I had mentioned some number of episodes ago that Mark Pilgrim had given a talk at the Init Hello conference, the Apple II conference, about some work he was doing for the making a new version of the print shop for Apple II. And in his run up to doing that, he and I discovered that the file format for graphics and fonts for the Atari 8-bit version were very closely compatible with the Apple version. And that Broderbund had released some graphics packs for the Apple II that were never released for the Atari 8-bit. And I said it would have been possible now with the information that Mark had discovered to take these Apple graphics and convert them to be available on the Atari for the first time. And lo, here comes Michael Sternberg, brilliant person and lovely hacker, and he posts to the AtariAge forums, has attached our ATR files containing the Apple II Holiday Collection and Apple II Special Edition transferred to Atari Print Shop discs. For others listening in, Broderbund never released these two box collections for the Atari. And so he converted them over. He made little PDF catalogs with the graphics so you can look at them all. And he a bunch of them. I mean, there's one of them's called the Holiday Collection. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of Christmas and winter related graphics. So he put this out at the beginning of December, hoping that it would be useful for people for Christmas and the holiday season. He also included the Python script called ATR print shop import, which he created to import the print shop files to the Atari, so you can see exactly how the files from Apple II got converted to Atari. This is brilliant. Yeah, I love it. And thanks for doing that, Mr. Sternberg.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Boy, it sure makes me want to go play with Print Shop some more.
Well, I don't think you're going to get very good graphics out of that typewriter.
No, I won't get. You're right. You're right. That's definitely going to be a problem. But I'll get great text.
All right, let's see. Crystone has created a Atari CAS player for cassette or CAS files, and the tool allows you to load, play, visualize, and convert the classic Atari CAS files directly in your browser. So that's the difference here. It's in your browser as opposed to having to run a separate emulator, which is kind of cool. You can do audio playback and with full, playback controls, plays, pause, and all that stuff. A real-time spectrogram. You can, look at the audio data with GPU accelerated spectrogram display. Some interactive navigation on the spectrogram, which is cool. Drag and drop, the files. You can convert them to stereo wave files and other, other functions.
Nice.
And and he says it's retro aesthetic, authentic Atari inspired visual design with smooth animations, and which is uh, uh, which is cool. I'm gonna play with this a little bit since I'm playing with the introduction to programming cassette. I'll try it here too and see how that works.
Nice. I like on the wave export, it says convert CAS files to stereo wave format with right channel being data and left channel being silent for use with real Atari hardware or emulators. So you could create a wave file, and then I guess you could use your audio editor, um, Audacity or whatever, to create your own sound channel. You could have loading music, or I don't know. You could change the introduction to programming to give bad information, or teach how to program in Pascal or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You make it. I don't know. Just playing with the audio channel sounds fun to me.
Yeah. So
And then neat.
and there is in the show notes there's a link to his website with where you can find it.
Drop a CAS file
Brad?
here or choose one. Neat. That's awesome.
Brad, since you're playing with cassette files now, we expect that you're going to do some great things with this.
Oh yeah, you can expect. Oh, you.
Wow.
And tell us about AI SAM chatbots. Let's just move on.
All right. So I got contacted by Moswald, our friend Joe, just before this recording, actually, and I think a while back we mentioned that he had created a FujiNet AI SAM chatbot, and he let me know that he has updated that. It's got some new features like a small context window, remembers some of the conversation, has the ability to get current information via web search in response to questions like what's the weather tomorrow. It's basically a novelty chat GPT interface that will run on your Atari. He's got a link here to the disk where you can download it. It's actually out on one of the TNFS servers, and he's also got the source code for the app and the server out on GitHub as well. If you want to actually see how it was done, so might be a good way to learn how to write FujiNet applications.
Fun.
Very cool. Doing AI on your Atari. Now, you'd be all right with that, wouldn't you, Kay?
Yeah. As long as, I guess I'd be all right with that. You can play with AI all you want. Just stop churning out garbage and telling me it's gold.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Fun. Okay, moving on to publications. I like our new thing of doing things by topic. I think it's working for me. I don't know how the listener feels about it, but makes more sense to me. Moving on to publications, magazines, and newsletters that are Atari related. Atari. Sorry. I'm going to jump ahead and do this in a lot of order. I noticed that AtariProtos.com, which is a website that I love, has a couple of new 8-bit things that I wanted to mention. Let's see. In November, they said it's come to my attention that there are actually 3 different MIDI maze prototypes for Atari 8-bit computers. The MIDI maze page has been updated to include the earliest of these prototypes, which is missing the highest level of AI, nasty, and some of the built-in mazes. And earlier in November, they said, thanks to prototype historian Ken van Mersbergen, we have a working image of the Town and Country Information System. This program was one of Atari's attempts to expand outside the realm of video games and turn the Atari 8-bit line into a general-purpose computer. The Town and Country Information System is a mall information kiosk program which which displayed the location of various shops and amenities in the town and country mall, where while the mall may no longer exist, thanks to the efforts of Ken, the information kiosk program lives on. And you click on it and you see some graphics, little intro pages, and you can get info about the mall, and there's a cute little map, how to get to J.C. Penney's or Marshall Fields and Neiman Marcus, and just adorable. I love this sort of thing. This is great. And now I'm wondering if Atari Protos needs to do a write-up about the RNAV thing, because I mean, officially it wasn't released, so I guess it's a prototype. Anyway, so that's that.
Did you see? I put some additional information in the show notes too about the MIDI maze thing, because there was some information about actually they've KR0TKI is the handle. He discovered that by looking at the cartridge ROMs, that there was a way that you could load custom discs or custom mazes off of disk when you're running MIDI maze. So rather than being content with whatever mazes they had on the disk, you could actually create your own and load them in. And I thought that was pretty cool. I never knew that you could create your own mazes.
Nice.
And
No,
then
neither did
actually
I.
run those. You can create a .maze file. He's got some information here. There's actually an AtariAge thread about this. Tells you how you actually create your maze
Why do you read
file.
it? That's super interesting. I think you should.
Yeah, he says, again, by looking at the cartridge ROM, he found out that you could load these. You could load them from disk. When navigating the main menu with a joystick, you enter the load menu, which shows a select maze menu with a list of built-in mazes. But you can also use the start, select, and option keys to navigate the menu. And if you use the load menu by pressing start instead of the trigger, an additional menu appears that allows you to choose loading mazes from cartridge or from disk. You can select disk, display a list of all .maze MAZ files on a diskette from which you can load a desired one. The MAZ file is a ASCII text file with each row ending with an EOL character. And then there's a bunch more information there, more details about how you build a .maze file.
Nice.
So it would be fun to build a custom maze, I think. I don't know how hard that is, or, I guess we could try it, but
sounds like a pretty straightforward file format, but you never know.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I jumped ahead if you want to go back and talk about Atari Insights.
Oh, yeah. So our friend John Zilke produced a couple more of the Atari Insights newsletter, both November and December, since it's been a little while since we published. November, December of the Atari Insights newsletter continues to do a great job with this. He's even producing discs now. But the highlights here in the November issue, there is a 2025 Atari Holiday Buyer's Guide. So if you're looking to buy something for your Atari significant other, there you go. You can go check out the Buyer's Guide. There's a joystick workshop series. There's Thinking in Code with Basic XL. There's a look at the A8 Pico cart. And as a bonus, you can download that Buyer's Guide as a separate file in case you want to drop any hints to the gift buyers in your life. So good job there. And then the December issue, again, some highlights there. There's the Sophia Pixel Heart, covers some of the things that happened Atari-wise in 2025, like the 10-liner contest, the new homebrew releases, and many other things that occurred. There's also the Thinking in Code series with Basic Excel. There's a walkthrough of demo pack number 1. So I'm assuming that he's planning to go through all the demo packs, which should be fun. There's the joystick workshop, a couple pieces about the Fashion cursor. Anyway, and Wade Ripkowski has another solid article on action where he teaches you more about arrays. So lots of good stuff in both November and December issues of Atari Insights.
Beautiful.
And then there's the November issue of Compute's Gazette. As you know, that's not an Atari-only publication, but there's actually a good amount of Atari 8-bit stuff. They also, let me show you. I think I mentioned in an earlier episode, it's a real nice print issue. So those that are watching, you can't see it very well, can you? My background wants to tweet it out, but it's really nice job that they're doing with printing this. They also have an 8-bit buyer's guide for a lot of different platforms, including the Atari 8-bit. And it's a really good coverage, I thought, of the Atari 8-bit modern upgrades. There's the usual Atari Outpost by Jerry White, this one on programming Atari 8-bit sound. There's a FujiNet report, writing FujiNet programs in Atari Basic by Tom Cherryholmes. I want to take a closer look at that one because I think that should be very helpful. And there's Rob Sherman's BBS article with lots of Atari 8-bit content. And this November issue includes the first Amiga resource that the magazine has had. So I think that's going to be a regular part of the magazine now.
Fun.
Very nice.
I learned of this thing via Boing Boing. It's just cute, something worth mentioning. It's called Doc Type Magazine. Type in apps for modern computers. It's not exactly Atari related, but it's adjacent. If you enjoyed typing things from, I'll just read what they had to say. If you remember typing computer programs, Doc Type Magazine is for you. But it's not an exercise in pure nostalgia. The apps you punch in are just as simple as BASIC was, but use HTML. They run in the web browser with no internet connection or server required. 10 wonderful web apps, including games, toys, puzzles, and utilities. No coding needed when you type. And for your $10 magazine, you get a printed magazine with a glossy cover and 10 printed listings of web pages on the inside, accompanied by illustrations and info. Fact, I don't understand. Is it a magazine of HTML source code? Answer, yes. You type it in and then you get to play the games. And then one of the questions is, can I cheat and get a PDF instead? Answer, no. So this is people who want some old school type in and typos and learning by typing. You can do that with Doc Type Magazine. Cute idea. I don't think I will be buying it. I think it's a one-off, but I don't think that's something that I personally need in my life. But I love I love that it exists.
Yeah. Somebody who really enjoyed typing them in the old days, I guess.
Yeah,
I was never that big a fan.
It's giving typing in from 101 basic computer games or Compute Magazine or something. It's a great idea. And finally, I saw an article at timeextension.com called "It May Be the First Video Game About the Beatles. Before Rock Band, there was Beat the Beatles." And it is an article about a program for the Atari 8-bit called Beat the Beatles, which I feel like we've talked about before, but I couldn't find it in the show notes. But so the programmers love for the had a love for the Fab Four and decided to make a little game for the Atari 8-bit. It basically a trivia game about about the Beatles that you could play on the Atari 8-bit. I don't. Anyway, so Atari 8-bit love in mainstream gaming publication. Beat the Beatles. Do you guys remember talking about this before? Beat the Beatles?
I don't
No?
remember
Okay.
it, but
Maybe.
that
Yeah.
doesn't mean we didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. Next section, new and updated hardware. Do you want to talk about the first thing, Randy?
Yeah. So the first thing is what the gentleman Sean Johnson created something he's calling a tech keyboard for the XL and XE, and basically he created this to save on Mylar wear and tear during repair testing. But it's kind of a cool looking keyboard. It's a keyboard that can be used on all 8-bit Ataris, built specifically for diagnostics of systems. That way you can ensure the onboard chips are happy and not cause unnecessary harm to the keyboard mylar by installing and removing it frequently. Yeah, those things are pretty easy to break and damage if you remove them a lot. So you reduce the size to allow the base to be printed on standard 3D printers. And he said it'll be released after testing for whoever would like them. He's also making a 400/800 adapter, so it will actually work on all of the Atari 8-bits. Cool
Nice.
idea.
Neat. All right. I find this frustrating, or this is your RM 800XL update. Um, I find this frustrating. They posted a video to YouTube of the RM 800XL loading a game from cassette. And I want this to be real, but it's so sus, guys. They couldn't.
I didn't like that video. That
That
video was
video is
weird
that video
because
is weird. So they show the game loading from cassette. So it's like a 3 or 4 minute video because you're just waiting for something to load. They barely show the computer at
the
all.
computer doesn't get shown.
No, they
Yeah,
show
it
the
does not get
cassette
shown at all.
drive, which Atari cassette drive loading. They show the
Right.
screen. And when they show the computer, first of all the keys are like literally the keycaps are like
Are
handwritten.
written on.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
someone like wrote on like QWER like bad handwriting. So fine, but I mean, I want to know is this machine real? Can you is it a real thing? And it was like it would be like showing a video for the new whatever, the new Porsche or something, but not actually showing the car, just like showing like a tire or something the entire time. I found it just suspect. I just didn't believe it. And it just
So, Kate,
makes me
did you
mad.
see the other videos that were
No,
produced though?
no. I didn't know about them or I was just so mad about the first one that I.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw because I saw your link, and it's like, yeah, that one is. I understand why you didn't like that one, but there were three others out there as well.
Uh-huh.
And there was one where they showed the computer running Pac-Man from cartridge, but they
Right.
show the computer a lot in that one, and you actually get a pretty good view of the computer, and you can tell it's a 3D printed case, but it looks pretty good.
Okay, but
And
it's not. So okay, they showed the thing with the. I actually have seen this one. The Pac-Man cartridge is in there.
mhm.
They turn it on. I'm watching it again. Okay, maybe it's an audio sync problem, but they turn it on. The music starts too early, and it doesn't show. When you put the Pac-Man cartridge into a real Atari, it starts with a intro screen that says Pac-Man, copyright Atari. This doesn't do that. This goes straight to the game. This is edited or it's a lie because that's not how the cartridge runs.
Hmm.
It goes straight into the game, which is
I I didn't pick up on that when
yeah.
I watched it.
So
Yeah.
uh, I don't believe that one either. What's this
And then
next?
there were two others where they actually showed the software that they are supposedly building into this
Uh-huh.
machine
Right.
that allows you to pick a game off of SD card or change the options,
Okay.
on the machine itself. So all you're seeing is software, basically.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, sure. I haven't seen that. I'm sure it's lovely. But anyway, I find this so intriguing, but also it makes me mad. Just either this whole thing's a big lie, or they're just really bad at marketing. I don't know.
I think the latter is definitely true. Now I'm not sure about the former. I guess we'll find out someday, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right. Lovely. Um. So this last one, I'm confused about this last one, and I don't. I was excited by it, but now I'm just confused. So I'm just going to put it out there, and maybe there's one or you or one of our listeners are better informed. An Amiga clone is coming? Question mark. And it's called the A1200. It is going to be a full-sized, um, not mini, Amiga 1200 clone.
Mm-hmm.
25 classic built-in games, includes a mouse and gamepad, looks beautiful. It's done by the Playtronics, Playon, the company that has done the the Mini 400
Mini
and this the
C64.
64 and the Spectrum. So and it's listed. This thing is listed on Amazon as pre-order for $190, and it'll be available June 26, 2026. So neat. That was going to be that. I was going to mention that, Nabil. However, in the this is the part that confuses me. In the Compute magazine issue, the November issue that we just mentioned, there's a whole article about how this thing isn't happening or has been significantly delayed. But I don't know if the article information is out of date and they've
Right,
overcome those problems, or
right.
or if maybe it's absolutely true and this thing is not going to be available in June. So I don't know what the status is, but it's curious. You guys have any insight?
So I do watch Amiga Bill's Amiga report that he
Hmm.
does.
Hmm.
He does pretty often, and I mean he sounded very positive about this coming out, and I I don't know. Again, I like you said, I'm not sure if the information in the compute is out of date. You know how magazines are. It's a lot of times the information's already out of date by the time it's published, but
Sure.
it's hard to tell. As far as I know, it's coming, but that's all I know.
Hmm.
Yeah, same here.
I love the idea of a full-size Amiga clone with HDMI and all that with a working keyboard. 'Cause,
Right.
I mean, the 400 Mini and whatever, it's fun. It's fine, but like without a working keyboard, it's just a little toy. If you had a
Yeah.
modern
Well,
working Amiga where you can actually type, that's cool.
Mentioning that,
Hmm.
you can go right now, you can go out to Atari's site and buy the Mini 400 with 4 joysticks included.
Hmm.
It's 50% off, so the total is $105, which is not a bad deal for the
Mm.
400 Mini with 4 joysticks.
No, you could play a
Um,
play a game of Mule with that.
Yeah, because
All your buddies.
it's got the four joystick ports on the front,
Right.
or actually they're USB ports on the front. And so you can actually connect four of them. Now you can buy just the machine for $21 less. So basically for three joysticks, you're paying $21, which seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, because the 400 mini is right now $106 on Amazon.
Hmm.
So
Right. But through Atari, it's $84.
yeah, so that's
Hmm.
a good deal.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's made me think about getting one, even though I've held off getting the
I
400
feel
mini.
I feel like just based on, I mean, if they're doing that, they've lowered the price that much and you're getting four joysticks, that to me that says buy it now because it's not going to be available in 6 months. They're maybe getting rid of the inventory and moving on to the next thing. So I say now or never.
Could be.
Contests.
Contest. So in the last episode, we mentioned the ABAC software contest for 2025 and that there were 13 entries. And I, I actually don't recall if we talked about, what order they were in, but Zero Page Homebrew created a video where they played all 13 entries. Well, they played 10 of the 13 entries. I guess three of them they were unable to get the actual digital copy of, but they went through all of them and talked about each one and played most of them. So it's a good way for you to take a look at all of the new software that's out there as a result of the software contest. Der Schranker 4 is the one that won. Wood
What
Shift,
did you
Hard
call
Stand,
me?
Kobo. uh, and yeah, anyway, there's a lot of good software out there to take a look at and take a look at the video. I'm not
Nice.
going to go through any detail here because I think we went through it before.
Yeah. Love that he created the video so you can just see him without having to figure it
Yeah.
all out. That's great. Brad.
And in November on 20 through 23rd, you could have, and some of you probably did go to Silly Venture in Poland because it was just held. And there is a video of the, let's see, it's called We Like to Party. Yeah, it's the video of one of their demos. And so that's in the show notes. And you can go to their full website. It's in the show notes too. But it was the Silly Ventures are always well attended and big big deals. So and
Yeah,
this
this
would
demo
be
They
is
produced some
this demo's
yeah.
nice
adorable.
demos. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's in the 16 kilobit or kilobyte entry, so fairly small size.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them when you go to the full list. There's a bunch of, although a lot of those are ST also, but there's a bunch. So lots of demos to enjoy, even from the 2600.
Nice. And if you want to help Randy out by creating a Christmas
Demo.
themed Atari demo, you can do that and perhaps enter the Vintage Computer Christmas Challenge 2025, which this year the main challenge theme is Snowflake, I guess. And this is the chat on the AtariAge forums, and you can post your little demo that you create. It's not Atari only. You can do it for any other computer, I believe. And just cute little holiday challenge. Make a little demo.
Smallest size possible, it
Smallest
says.
size possible,
That's
any computer, any language. As I said, Snowflake. This year, the Snowflake composed out of several characters. Um, make the smallest program you can. Shortest size of the following provided sizes is for the final original ranking: source code, file size, and executed code size. And there's a wild category for just going crazy, being creative, and breaking the rules, doing your own.
yeah. It says the snowflake's composed of several characters, but the only character can be a star. So
Well, so you have a big snowflake made out of tiny snowflakes, stars,
yeah, exactly.
and
Exactly.
those stars are probably made out of even smaller stars. It's full of stars. Oh my
Going-
God. My God, it's full of stars. Okay. And upcoming computer shows. Brad, tell us about a computer show.
There's a lot of computer shows coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
First one we have is January 24 and 25 in Montreal, Canada, the Vintage Computer Festival, Montreal. And I don't speak French, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it but it's in Quebec.
Fun.
Then the Vintage Electronics Expo is the next weekend at the Oakland Expo Center in Waterford, Michigan.
Then the Vintage Computer Festival SoCal, which is February 14th and 15th, 2026, in Orange, California.
The Indie Classic Computer and Video Game Expo, March 20th through the 22nd at the Wyndham Indianapolis Airport Hotel in Indianapolis.
And VCF East, April 17 through 19 at the InfoAge Science and History Museum in Wall, New Jersey. Isn't somebody going to that one? No?
I think Randy and I are both going to be there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
We're going to fight it out.
All right.
Midwest Gaming Classic, April 24th through 26th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
VCF Southwest, May 29th through the 31st at the Westin Dallas Fort Worth Airport.
Retrofest 2026, which is May 30 through 31 at the Steam Museum of the Great Western Railway in Swindon, UK. That would be kind of interesting. Having old computers in a steam museum, railway museum.
Mm.
And
Southern Fried Gaming Expo, July 31st through August 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia.
that's also Vintage Computer Festival Southeast.
Great.
And Fujiyama, August 26th through the 30th in Langenfeld, Germany.
Beautiful. I just looks like Portland Retro Gaming Expo has not been announced yet for next year. So can't tell you about that. Okay, now YouTube videos. Randy, have you been wasting your time watching YouTube again?
I have. I just can't help
Let's
myself.
say I hope so.
There's always a lot of stuff out there for the Atari 8-bit. I was going to say good stuff, but then I decided just to say there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But there is some good stuff. Flash Jazz Cat always has some great videos. He's got one he entitled, it's a long title, Immaculate NOS. Atari 600 XL gets a Pokémax 4, VBXE, and Ultimate 1 megabyte. I don't think there's anything more I need to say about that. The title kind of says it all. But if you want to know how to do it, just watch Flash Jazz Cat's video. Sayaka's Digital Attic has one entitled "My Mom Bought an 800 XL, Atari 800 XL. Can I fix it?" That has a lot of views. Um, I think it's unusual to have fix-it videos out there by members of the fairer sex. So I think it's great. I think she does a good job with these. There is the Atari XL XE first AI shooter from Atari Bits Forever put this out there, but it is the first Atari shooter game written entirely by Gemini 3 Pro AI with the help of Nosti from Poland. So he had Gemini 3 Pro write an Atari shooter game, and it's, I don't know, the game looks kind of pointless to me. Because I watched some of the video, and I don't understand. The game doesn't look particularly difficult, but it's interesting that it was written entirely by AI.
The game looks. I mean, it looks like something that a 15-year-old could have programmed in
Yeah,
1985.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
But I mean, a year ago or whatever, I couldn't get ChatGPT to draw a house in Atari Basic. I mean, literally
Come
just
a long way.
draw a stick figure guy, and it couldn't do it. So the fact that it made a semi barely fun looking game that actually plays, that's something. That's progress, I guess.
I think when I read more detail here, the gentleman who interacted with Gemini 3,
Hmm.
he had to give it a lot of hints, like go use this
Right.
site to get information how to do, player missile graphics or whatever.
Hmm.
And I think he had to give a lot of hints, but
Right.
still, I mean,
Right.
it's not bad.
I don't know if it's less work than programming it yourself. It's just different work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neat. Okay.
And then finally, there was so I had mentioned the Namco Legendary Pack. So there's a video out there that shows the Galaxian 800 game that's part of that pack,
Hmm.
and put out there by Atari. And that's it for YouTube videos this month.
Nice. Um, I took some time and looked to see what was going on archive.org and found a few things. My new favorite scanner, Ted Scretchy, has done a few more newsletters. He has continued with a couple more of XIO3 Garden City Atari Computer Enthusiast newsletters. We've got February 95 and March, April 95. And they also scanned the July 1989 Van Atari newsletter, um, which is, I used to know what this was. Um, Publication of the Atari Users Group of Vancouver, BC. It's a nice little 12-page newsletter with it's worth checking out. So thank you for continuing with that, Mr. Ted. And Retro Archive has been doing a lot of interesting scans of especially international Atari related publications and catalogs. Bunch of them in German. One of them is an accompanying booklet for the East German school radio broadcasts in the spring of 1989. Um, I think this is Das Computer Magazine. And according to Translate website. It says this is not a course in machine programming that would require the use of an assembler, which is not generally available. Therefore, the basic principles are explained here using direct coding via tables. This is, of course, only feasible for very small programs. Nonetheless, it should illustrate the principle of machine programming. So, East Germany, 1989. Let's try to teach machine language programming like without the use of an assembler. Holy cow! Anyway, that's what it is as far as I can tell. Seems very interesting. So that's just among the delight of interesting catalogs and things that RetroArchive has scanned recently. They're all worth checking out. We've got some German, software catalogs and things like that. So a lot of fun. And also, I checked out GitHub, only found a couple of things Atari 8-bit related on GitHub. I'll mention real quickly. One is, okay, I'm tell you everything I know about this. I don't understand this at all. It's called 8-bit Workshop-MCP, Headless Atari 800 Emulator MCP Server. This package exposes the Atari 8-bit emulator controls from the 8-bit Workshop WebSocket bridge as a model context protocol server over standard I/O. It mirrors the RPC methods from the in-browser bridge as MCP tools. Is this interesting? I don't know. What does it do?
Whoa.
I have no idea.
Whoa. I understand those are all English words, but you put them together and that went way over my head.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So it's new. It was all uploaded last week. It does something, and I hope you enjoy it. And the other thing I do understand a little bit more, this other one is called Ex Monka Atari. It says re-implementation of the concept of my card game for Atari 8-bit computers. It was uploaded a couple weeks ago, and it seems to be in BASIC. There's a screenshot of a queen or a princess or something, and some sort of bull, some sort of animal, and maybe it's a card game. There's little hearts and cards, and I have no idea. But it looks like some sort of game someone's making in BASIC. So yeah, I understand this only slightly more than the other thing I just mentioned. But anyway, so that's what I found.
That first one seems to be associated with the 8-bit Workshop in some manner. You're familiar with the 8-bit Workshop, right? That allows you to you can write fast basic programs in your browser and then actually run them in an emulator.
Yeah.
So it seems to be tied to that in some way. I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe the creator can explain it to us, or someone can. Okay, so that's that. And now, finally, we are moving into listener feedback. Who wants to read Bill's letter?
All right. Bill Kendrick sent us an email, and he says, "Hi, ANTIC crew. Joe DeCure recently spoke at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, PRGE, about the class he's been teaching at the University of Washington, where his students are making games for the Atari 8-bit. One of his students, Hunter Patchett, presented with him. The team he was on created their own implementation of the 1977 Key Games, or Atari, arcade game Superbug for the 8-bits. PRGE's YouTube channel has a video of their talk. After watching it, Bill says he got emailing back and forth with Joe, and he shared the PDF of the slides that they had up. And Bill says in it he spotted a link to a video of Game Test Day that the students were part of, and those links are in our show notes. And Bill says, isn't that cool? They used a real 1200 XL. The game works with rotary controllers, the driving controllers that came with the Indy 500 game. It's apparently written in 100% C, no assembly. Okay. Another document Joe sent had a link to a GitHub repo containing the student team's code. The repo is public, but he confirmed with Joe that it's all right to share as long as people keep in mind it's a proof of concept. And that link is to the GitHub is in the show notes. And Bill says he loves seeing the next generation learning about our favorite system.
That is cool.
Looking at the GitHub, it says the Superbug Recreation Capstone Project recreated Atari's 1977 arcade game Superbug for the Atari 8-bit computer line, developed in C, using Atari 8-bit libraries, compiled with CC65. The project's goal was to faithfully reimagine Superbug while working under the strict memory, resolution, and performance constraints of the Atari 1200 XL and 800 systems, and emphasized low-level programming and memory management. Lovely. We should talk to these people, shouldn't we, Randy?
We should. Yeah, we definitely should.
Nice. Yeah, find about the challenges of making a game in C in the modern world and the excitement of taking a class with Joe DeCure. Exciting. Neat. Okay. Randy, you want to read Peter's thing? Peter's report?
Yeah,
Fletcher's
so
report?
Peter Fletcher wrote up a story for us, he wrote up about the Atari party that took place. And I did edit it. Sorry about that, Pete. It was pretty long. So I did edit it for just Atari 8-bit content because Atari Party is, of course, a celebration of all things Atari. And it took place on November 22nd at the Quakertown train station in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. He says attendees from across the Mid-Atlantic region gathered to honor their shared passion for Atari. Several members of the FujiNet team were present. They engaged attendees with multiplayer games and demos like 5-Card Stud, Fujitsu, and Fujilama. Andy Diller presented an impressive preview version of the very first FujiNet real-time multiplayer game Killzone. Jamie Lundino and Bill Lang shared a table. Both Bill and Jamie had FujiNet-enabled Atari 8-bits running a variety of games and applications. Jamie had his Atari 400 Mini, and while opinions on its usefulness varied, everyone agreed it was incredibly cute. Jamie also had a couple of Benj Edwards joysticks, Foundry joysticks connected to the 800. He says, this may be Atari Party, but most years we have a great group of Commodore enthusiasts attending as well, which I wasn't aware of. Todd George, who used to host the Chicken Lips radio podcast, lives a few minutes from the train station and joined us for the party. 3 members of the Westchester Amiga user group were present, each showing their equipment. Since the event's located in the town where Pete lives, he says he was able to bring quite a bit of stuff. He had an Atari AHCS running light gun games, and that Crossbow was the most popular. Andy Diller is exploring the possibility of hosting a summer version of Atari Party and is seeking feedback on its potential popularity. I believe it sounds fantastic, says Pete, and if any of you or your listeners are interested in participating, please reach out to Andy. All in all, we had a great party with lots of old and new Atari friends. Stay Atari, everyone. Thanks, Peter, for the write-up. We appreciate that. Sounds like it was a good time.
So another another retro computing thing in a train station. Weren't we talking about that earlier? Like very very
Well,
steampunk.
Steam Museum.
Yeah, Steam Museum, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
very. We have to get goggles now and walk around like steampunk
Yeah.
people. Is that our new thing?
All right.
All right. I guess that is our show. Thank you for listening. I'm going to wrap this up quickly because poor Brad's got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Please provide feedback. We love hearing about your memories of the Atari 8-bits that you want to share. I want to hear if you're working on a project involving an Atari computer, programming, or just playing games, or getting on the high score table. That whatever you're up to, let us know. You can contact us via email at Randy.
ANTIC at AtariPodcast.com.
Or now apparently on Blue Sky.
At AtariPodcast.bsky.social.
You just created that, right, Randy? Did you do that?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
All right. Good for you. Our website with show notes and links to everything we've talked about is at www.ataripodcast.com. We're also at Facebook and on Discord, and you can find us at other places with your mad search skills, I'm sure. Thank you for listening, and thank you for podcasting with me all year, guys. This was great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Another
guys.
one. Yeah.
Another year in the books.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.